Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Hope we're well. 2 for 2 today. It's looking pretty decent. This video is a little bit of good news. I think we've been beaten down really in the media for the last sort of couple of weeks. And actually this is a little bit of good news, which Lord knows we needed. You can see by the thumbnail, I'm holding a pen. I'm holding a pen for a certain person to potentially sign a certain contract. It is the star man, it is the main guy, it is basically Spurs himself, Harry Kane. Now, it came out probably about a week ago that Spurs wouldn't stand in his way if he wanted to leave. And that actually is no different to the summer previous. When he was linked to Man City. And we said, people were like, hey, you shouldn't stop him leaving. We said, hey, we're not stopping him leaving. But we want 150 million. That's what we wanted, right? And then Man City were like, hey, we're going to offer you 130 million. And you're like, oh, okay. Euros, which was worth, I think, about 110 at the time. So not even in the ballpark still, right? And the deal was 130 million as a total. There was 2 players involved. It wasn't like it was all money. I think the players involved were like Laporte or Sterling, right? Not really what we want. Obviously, that value will come down now because obviously he's got less years on his contract, right? But the talks supposedly will start again in February. Okay, so basically about 10 days' time. The reason as to why is obviously very important. He wants to see what we do in January. He's obviously going to be here to the end of the season. He's not going anywhere. He wants to see what happens in January. Are we legit about being top 4? Are we legit about winning something? Are we legit about the Champions League? Are we legit about trying to chase, not going to chase down Arsenal obviously, but are we legit about chasing down Uniteds and the Newcastles and potentially Cities, all right? Sort of going on a little bit, but also plays a part in towards the summer. In the summer, are we legit? Are you going to promise me how much money we're going to spend? Are you going to promise me that we're really serious and we're going to spend a lot of money in the summer? Are we serious about keeping Conte? What's the situation going forward? There's a lot of questions going on at the moment. And do you know what? Of all people that deserves an answer, it is Kane himself. He has been the one shining light of all season, him probably Bentancur. And he deserves a few answers. He's been here for a long time. To be fair, I'm going to be honest, I think we've wasted his ability because we've not surrounded him with enough quality, okay? I think he probably wants to see some activity, and I don't blame him for that. I do actually think Conte, Di Marzio came out and said, Conte's done. This is it. They've not talked about the new contract extension. He's not going to sign it. He is done after this season. And then Lyle Thomas from Sky Sports were like, guys, if you didn't understand this, that was an opinion. That wasn't factual. They just think Conte's done. I think Kane signs a new contract. I think Conte goes, right, I'll tie myself down with it. Conte said all along, I want to sign a contract, but I want him to stay as well. Conte's always actually said, I'm not interested about the contract right now. Let's just focus on the now. Let's try and do something now. For him, I think he was like, look, I know we can't win now, but there's no reason why within 2 years we don't have an attitude of winning now. This January transfer window, Pedro Porro, Nicolo Zaniolo, then in the summer going, right, Bastoni, let's have a look at Skriniar. What's the situation there? Stefan de Vrij, maybe, right, we need to get a new keeper. Jan Oblak, Destiny's in, fantastic. Let's clear out some more dead weight. Let's move on Emerson. Let's move on Doherty. Maybe Session goes out on loan. Maybe Skip and Sarr go out on loan. Right, we need a new central midfielder. A boss-like central midfielder who's going to kick ass. Right, we need another attacking option because obviously Moura's gone now. Right, we need that left wing option. We need a backup striker. Obviously Ivan Toney's betting situation, does that become an option that maybe Spurs get him and go, fantastic, we'll have him, what situation occurs from that, I don't know. It's that sort of thing, right? Harry Kane obviously just goes, look, we've got some decent players here, we do. We've got a great coach, we've got an amazing stadium, we've got amazing training facilities. Like some of the best facilities and that's one of the best stadiums in world football, right? So that's massive. Players go, that's fantastic. I would love to play in that stadium. I'd love to train there, that sort of thing. Right, okay, fantastic. Conte stays. That's another big thing. Tick. That's a world-class manager. That is a winner. I want to go and play under him. You see what Kulusevski says about him. That he works so hard, but I love it. I love working hard. I love working with Antonio Conte. Players like Bentancur love him. Players that come from the Serie A always talk about how players in the Serie A and players that have left the Serie A always talk about how amazing Antonio Conte is, right? I really, really think Kane goes, right, German transfer, let's see what you got. Okay, you sign Zaniolo, you sign Porro. He probably goes, they're good additions to the squad. Okay, cool. Right, what we're doing in the summer, what's the real plan? I want to see the plan. I want to know everything. How much money are we going to spend? Who are you looking to move on? What are we looking to do? What's the plan for the next year? Because don't forget, he's got a contract in the summer that has got a year left. I want to know the plan for the next year before I give you any more years of my basically footballing life. If Levy goes, right, Zaniolo and Porro in, fantastic, yeah. Right, in the summer, because that's what we're talking about. He's not talking about for the rest of the season, because he's not going anywhere for the rest of the season. He's really going to be talking about the summer. And top four football is a huge thing for him, because Champions League football is what he wants to play. Don't blame him. He's getting on. He wants to play as much Champions League football before he finishes up. And he wants to know, can we compete on the club front in the competitions like the Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup, right? If Levy goes, here we go, right, those two are in, bosh, all right? You will know what's happening in the summer. In the summer, we're looking to move on from these sort of players, right? The players that we move on, that money will be given to Conte or the new manager. You know, maybe there is a new manager. Maybe it's Poch. Maybe it's Tuchel. Maybe it's Enrique. Maybe it's me. I don't know, right? He goes, look, we're going to be looking to give that money to the new manager, okay? What we're also going to be looking to do is we're going to be looking to give that manager a cash injection, kind of like the summer. Whereas we're not going to be spending money on Romero's fee and things like that last summer, which I do think has played a part, whereas I said they wouldn't play a part, but it does. Shock. Anything to get scoot around having to spend any more money. I really do think that the money that we get from sales, the money from potential Champions League, that's a huge amount of money. You have more than you believe. It's a huge amount of money. And he wants to see that progression towards the summer. He wants to see that we're going on a 5, 6, 7 game win streak. You know, we're really competitive. You know, we go to Anfield, we go to the Etihad, we go to Stamford Bridge, we go to the Emirates, you know, we go to Old Trafford and we actually are fighting tooth and nail, 50-50s, everything, right? He wants to see what's going to happen. He wants to see the injection of fresh faces and the rubbish out of the club. Because I tell you what, he's been there for a long time. There's still players there that have been there a long time who have not been good enough for a long time. So that's the main thing. I do think, though, that does tie in with Antonio Conte. I'd have no reason as to why to not think, yeah, Conte will give you the same thing because he's been given the same promises. I think they're both in tandem to say, let's get the players in now, right? I don't see Conte going anywhere, by the way, before now and the end of the summer, okay? So Conte probably gets a couple of players now. It probably goes, okay, that took a long time, but we did get 2 of the players that I wanted. But in the summer, we need more. In the summer, we need to move players now. We need to be better than saying, well, you can have him and you wanted him for 10 million. Well, we want him for 15 million and we're not letting him leave or we don't get 15 million. We need to be honest and just say, yeah, we'll take 10 mil. Yeah, okay, move him on. You know, moving Tanganga, moving Sanchez, moving Skip, Sessegnon, Sarr, Doherty, Emerson, Mora, moving these players, Brian Hill even maybe, moving these players either out on loan and selling them, okay? Move them, get them gone, all right? Longley probably is going to go back to Barca, in my opinion. I don't see him really kicking around. Okay, then we need some centre-halves because we've got Romero, we've got Dyer. By this point, if you're talking about, you know, moving Sanchez, moving Tanganga and moving Longley, we're going to need some centre-halves, all right? Okay, well, we're going to invest heavily into the centre-back position. Fantastic. We're going to invest heavily into the goalkeeper situation. Maybe Lloris is gone in the summer. Maybe Oblak is the guy that comes in to replace him. You know, you probably do get a few mil out of Lloris. You know, he's on decent wages. Wages would be similar to Oblak's, in my opinion. So you move Lloris on, you come in with that money and just go, we're going to put a big chunk down for Bastoni. We're going to put a big chunk down for Oblak. We're going to try and get a centre-half that is better than Dyer. I'd love Milan Skriniar. We've all wanted him for a very, very, very long time. That contract's winding down on Skriniar's front. Maybe that's who we get. We've got Destiny Udogie coming in, and he's with Perisic. I think left wing-back is a position you can kind of forget about. I do think Sessegnon goes out on loan, but that wing-back position for another year you can forget about. Hopefully Sessegnon comes back in the following year. There you go. Sessegnon and Destiny, those are your 2 going forward, right? I think right wing-back, you've got Porro. I think Emerson, Doherty need to go. What are you doing with Spence? Does Spence move on? You know, does Spence go out on loan? Does Spence become your number 2? I think a full pre-season with Spence learning the system, learning the ways of Conte, really kind of developing maturity-wise, that might help him, right? Do you go and get a central midfielder? Do we go from a 3-4-3 to 3-5-2? In that position, in that case, we're going to need some more central midfielders, right? I would say Zaniolo isn't the option in the centre three. He can be from time to time, but I'd love to see Zaniolo in a more creative attacking option and attacking ways. Do we get a backup really to come in for Kane and say, right, FA Cup, League Cups, for sure, Kane, you're resting. Give him a week off. How nice would it be for Kane to get a week off? He's creeping up in age now. He can't keep doing what he did 5-6 years ago every single week. So if we can kind of go, right, well, what we'll do then, those games, you're not playing, get the backup option in, I think Kane probably wouldn't mind a backup option to come in and relieve the workload on him. Do we get someone that's really going to battle Son? Or is Richarlison the guy that battles Son? But if you can get, Kane probably wants to see a squad full of players where he looks around and goes, yeah, we've really got a chance. We've really got a chance to fight for top four, if not more, being in the title race. We're going to fight on all cup options fronts. We're going to fight in the League Cup, the FA Cup. We're going to fight in the Champions League. All these things play a massive part, but I do see those two playing a huge part together in tandem with Conte and Kane. They have to sign new deals. That is massive. Kane probably wants to stay around if Conte's staying around as well. That's a massive thing. Back Conte, give him what he wants, or give it. We may not be able to give everything. He knows that, but if we can give him 85-90% of it, Kane goes, look, Conte's happy. He signed a new contract. We got probably top four. We're fighting in leagues. We were competitive in the Champions League. Are we going to win it? I don't think we will, obviously, but we're competitive, right? If we get past AC Milan, maybe get past one more round in the semis, and we're competitive. We've always been pretty competitive in Europe, to be fair. It's one ironic thing that we haven't struggled. We've always been competitive in Europe. We've always been, one of the last 8 remaining, things like that. Obviously, we want more, but if we can show genuine progression going from this year into next year where we buy those big name players, and Kane looks at it and goes, we've got a world-class keeper, we've got world-class centre-halves now, we've got one of the most exciting wing-backs in all of football, and we've still got Perisic, who's one of the best attacking options in world football, right, from wing-back. He looks at right wing-back, Pedro Porro, he was the best wing-back option on the market in January. We've got him now. You think, when Conte talks about Kulusevski and Bentancur, he said they had 6 months and then pre-season. That's why they've hit the ground running, right? Pedro Porro would have the same situation. Zaniolo would have the same situation. That for 6 months they'd be solid, and then next year they'd be great. Richarlison would get better because he's a lot of injuries, but he'd get better because he's had more time in the system. Maybe Son then gets more of a rest, and Son comes on, and gives you a bit more because he's got a bit more energy, right? It's these sort of things that all play a part. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. It's just a quick one. A little bit of a foresight, maybe a look into the next 6 months, maybe a bit longer for Spurs. In all honesty, I want Kane to stay. I want Conte to stay. I'm not interested about other strikers or any other manager. Those are the 2 guys that I want, right? But guys, drop a like on the video, obviously. Hit me with a comment. Let me know what you think needs to happen for Kane to sign a new contract or Conte to sign a new contract. Let me know what you think happens in the next 6 months to maybe a year. Hit the subscribe button as well. Obviously, lads, drop the bell notification a little hit as well. There's going to be more of these coming out. But anyway, lads, I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care.